Hey Soul family, excuse my raspy voice. I've been dealing with a cold or something and they can't really figure out what's wrong with me. Sore throat turned into this. But I decided to stop avoiding coming online because it is Mental Health Awareness Day 2025. Happy Mental Health Day. And I really want to discuss real quick on I hope that by now we understand a little bit more about toxic personality traits, toxic relationships. Now, we're not necessarily clinicians and can diagnose people, but the narcissistic abuse template is something I'm really passionate about. Being a survivor myself, I have helped a lot of other victims in their healing. And I know victims can be like a really harsh word, but it's just anybody that's been affected negatively by a narcissistic abuse template person. It is really important to understand the types of tactics that they use, the gaslighting, the lying, the manipulation, the isolation, belittling, all that stuff over time really breaks down your self-worth and your self-esteem. And of course, a lot of times that narcissist attracts an empath, somebody who's like really loving, giving, compassionate towards others. That's a classic template that plays out since the beginning of time of people attracting to one another on either one of these spectrums. So it's really important if you are more in alignment with the empathic personality, somebody who's really in tune with themselves and others, sensitive to how they show up in the world, compassionate, empathetic, wants to please, wants to help support. You need to really protect your energy, your thoughts, your heart space, your body, your environment. Did I say energy ready? Energy ready, your aura. It is really sacred. If we could all get better at recognizing that we are a gift in this world and that we need to be really discerning on who we share our time, energy, body, mind, thoughts, heart, space, feelings, everything with, money, physical spaces, even things we touch, we can energy exchange with one another. And I think by now we are understanding that there is a lot of damage that can happen by being with the wrong people. So because it is Mental Health Awareness Day, I just want to emphasize again how important it is to cut out toxic people in your life, be more discerning. You may not be able to completely cut them out, but to set energetic boundaries, because if not, being with the wrong people over time can definitely affect your self-esteem, give you memory issues, sleep issues, GI issues, and have you numb out, make self-doubt, confusion, memory issues, obsessive thoughts, and even can eventually lead to diagnoses of other kinds of disorders, anxiety, depression, CPTSD, dissociation, eating disorders, substance abuse. It's really just important and imperative that we guard and protect ourselves from the wrong type of people and start looking for the red flags. Red flags being when you set a boundary, how did they handle it? When you say no, how do they treat other people? How do they make other people feel? How do they make you feel in your nervous system? Yeah, they might be saying and doing all the right things, but how do they make you feel? Trust your intuition. Watch how they behave with other people, because it can be really difficult to know. Or if you want to skip and bypass having to figure all that out, because a lot of times narcissistic abuse can be really hard to detect, and depending on how skilled somebody is and how far advanced they are in that spectrum, there's always a spectrum of things, right? They can be really, really skilled at masking who they are in the beginning. That love bombing stage can last not just a couple months, but years. And I've known people, myself included, I didn't truly see who my person that I was dealing with was until about 11 years in. I had seen red flags. My intuition screamed at me. I ignored my intuition. I watched, I dismissed a lot of other things I saw, but I didn't see clearly and have a light bulb moment go on and the full awareness of what I was dealing with, that I was dealing with a narcissist. I didn't even really know what that was until maybe 11, 12, actually more like 12 years in, okay? That is a long time to have the slow drip of your mental health diminish, your self-esteem, your confidence, your money go down the drain, like isolating from people, friends. It's usually a slow drip. It's kind of like that analogy they say, if you put a lobster in the water and slowly increase the temperature until it's boiling, it won't know right away that it's boiling. Unless the versus you putting it in hot boiling water, obviously it's going to know, it's going to want to run and climb out. And most of us would have that reaction of run away if we saw something really evil happening right off the get-go. Most of us aren't that ignorant that we wouldn't be able to pick up on the signs, but it's usually a slow drip. So be really careful, be mindful. Mental Health Awareness Day today to avoid those kinds of things. And if you're not sure and you want to skip all that years and time of trying to figure it out, setting boundaries and trying to decipher what you're dealing with, take my soul quality test. It's super easy, takes a couple of minutes, super cheap. I can actually test using the Akashic Records and my witchy skills, my mystic abilities, intuitive abilities, spiritual abilities, to test the quality of somebody's soul. Then we can know for sure what you're dealing with, positive or negative. It will help guide you on your path with that person, because if somebody has a positive soul and has had trauma issues, that's different. You can work with them. You can go to counseling, therapy, and get help. But if there are certain people in the world, there's a percentage of people, I think it's less than 5%, maybe more by now. We have a narcissism problem in our country. But true diagnosis of narcissism is somebody who lacks empathy, lacks compassion, honesty, has chosen to disconnect from their intuition and their conscience, and it leans more towards definitely operating out of their shadow and taking advantage of others is how they kind of get their energy. So that's how I see it. I think it's a spiritual battle, not just a mental and physical battle, but it's at a soul level, a soul disorder as well. So if you'd like my test, reach me at thezenzone@mail.com, thezenzone@mail.com, and you can order that. You can see my website as well, thezenzonestudio.com, for a list of other resources and Reiki and other energy healings and soul gift testing and things like that. So lots of information. I talked longer than I wanted to, but happy Mental Health Awareness Day. Be mindful, be discerning, protect that darn good energy that you have. And we need to start seeing things that are going on in this world, the evil versus good, lies versus hate, love versus truth. We need to see it at more of a soul level, energetic level, and encompass body, mind, soul. And I can help you with that by doing that soul quality test and helping you heal if you've been in a narcissistic abuse pattern. It's definitely a long healing road of getting back to who you really, really were before you met that person, maybe even before you met them, like who you were born to be, and discover more of who you are meant to be. And I don't even see these things like anxiety, depression, memory issues, dissociation. I don't see any of these things as necessarily inherently bad. They're just coping skills. And as long as you can get to the root of the problem and you have the awareness of what in your life needs to go to help you on your healing path, you cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. I think you're gonna be in good shape, and to not see these things as so much negative, but as your best friend. Like, why am I anxious? Why am I feeling depressed? Why do I want to isolate? Why do I need to sleep extra today? All those things. Take care of yourself. Focus on your healing and what you need, and show up for yourself in a way that you've never had before. That is one thing the narcissist teaches you. More boundaries, speaking your truth, self-worth. They force you to have to look at that, all those issues that maybe were lacking before. So thezenzone@mail.com if you need support, or that soul quality test. And it's an introductory rate right now. I've been gatekeeping it and using it for myself, but I really want to put it into the general population. I think if more people could know with a yes or no what they're dealing with, it would save themselves years of time, money, time in therapy, eating disorders, all the meds that we're on because of all this stuff. If we just could cut out the toxic people and environments, I think we'd be in way much better shape. And the world would be a better place. We can start saying no to these types of behaviors and instead of enabling them. All right, bye.